Why do you never write your material in advance?
Because I'm lazy. I don't. Yeah, it's way easier for me to just kind of go for it because because things write themselves. You know, there's like chaos happening, and there's the thoughts that I have, and as long as I can formulate words and actions in a real-time basis as those ideas are floating about, then I can provide an interesting time for both myself and the audience. You know, I'm guessing for the audience. And I would say writing stuff down for me means that I have to remember something that I've written. And when I think about that, the way that my mind works is I become worried about not getting it right. And so then it becomes about not being present. So for me, improvisation, in the way that I do it, I don't do it in a structured way like Del Close or you know, the trained improv methods. I just do it my own way, and that is a little bit more honest for what's happening in the moment, because I can't bullshit too much. Like I can definitely, there are times when I'm not connected, and so I kind of like, I'm just throwing some stuff out there to kind of like buy some time. Can I get reconnected? Oh, there it is, and then I'll do this now. What do you think? You know, but in general, like it keeps it fresh for me, and it keeps it interesting and challenging for me when I get on stage. It's just a great way. It's like, you know, it's like surfing or something like that. It's like you're kind of like anticipating what's happening because you can start to feel as something's changing, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee that that's the way it's going. So you kind of have to keep a buffer memory of extrapolation as to like what is about to occur from the haze that's in front of you. So technically, when I'm on stage, I'm kind of like a few milliseconds in the future, you know, kind of like I have a buffer so that I'm speaking something, but what I'm speaking is in the past, and what's really happening is slightly in the future. So it's a great way. It's what happens in conversation. It's actually not that esoteric. When you're having a conversation with somebody, you're not going like, okay, now I am deciding what is the next thing, and, you know, like in your mind, and then you're like, this is the. I mean, there are things like, ooh, I can't wait to tell them about this thing, and then you're waiting for the thing, and then you're like, okay, well, this thing, you know, it's similar to that. It's really that, but it's on a performative level about sustaining a consistent, essentially one-sided dialogue on stage in front of an audience. But so it uses elements of the energy of the audience. It uses the elements of the things that I said earlier that I read about. It also uses chaos. If something happens, like some weird things happen all the time. Like I was on, I did the Radiolab show last night as part of Radio Love Fest at BAM, and they had balloons everywhere. And throughout the day, because they had multiple balloons, they would lose some balloons up into the rafters. And I remember I was performing and I was talking about something, and then a balloon, a deflated balloon, just lands perfectly, like right in the middle of all my stuff. And I was just like, wow, you don't see one of those too often. You know, just kind of threw it away. And or a sound system at Afropunk Festival 3 years ago or 2 years ago, the sound system was crapping out. But when I stomped my foot, the whole system would crackle. It's like there was a short somewhere, so I'd just be like, you know, so I was just using the crackling. So chaos and mistakes and malfunctions, lights going out, generators, I love all that stuff.